Hey everyone, so I am going to do two videos today. I'm going to go ahead and break them up into two separate videos, but they are two things that are highly requested. And in this video, I am going to talk a little bit and demonstrate how I do my winged eyeliner. I kind of think this is my go-to look because it's just very clean, simple. I can make it as dramatic as I want or as low-key as I want, depending on how far out I wing it, or you know what I mean. I'm just going to show you a few options of what you can use getting started, and then I'll show you exactly what I use to achieve my winged eyeliner. So obviously there are a couple different eyeliners out there. I'm going to kind of give you a rundown quick of just what I have. First, I have like these Urban Decay just pencil liners, and these you would just use a pencil sharpener on. These are not good for trying to achieve this look because it doesn't give you any precise lines whatsoever. The eyeliner that are in like this twist up one, and this is out so it doesn't twist anymore, but this is like the Maybelline Master Drama. It's just like their normal eyeliner, and this I would not recommend either because it does not allow a sharp point. Then you get into kind of the liquid liners. The ones that I like have the felt tips. I'm not a fan of the ones where it's like a paintbrush that dips into the liquid because I feel like those run really easily, and I have really fine lines on my eyelid, and with those it's too much of a liquid and it just fills in every area that I don't necessarily want the liner. So I have three examples of the felt tip ones. I have the L'Oreal, the Super Slim, then I have the Revlon Color Stay Liquid Eye Pen. And this one you'll notice is a little bit shorter and a little bit fatter. This one's probably my favorite because it's kind of somewhere in between from that last one and the first one. It's pretty thin, but I can also do thick lines with it. So those are your kind of felt tip, really easy. I would say if you're starting out with winged eyeliners, start with these, the felt ones, and they even make even thicker ones. And honestly, I find that it's harder the thinner it is when you're first starting out. So start off with a thicker one. That way you just have to do one line and then another line in. You don't have to do like small strokes or anything like that. I would say once you get whatever technique down that you really master, you have to try the gel liner. I just use a gel liner. Comes in a little pot like this. I happen to have the Maybelline Eye Studio, and this one is in Blackest Black because I prefer the Blackest Black color. Then the brush that I use along with the gel liner, and actually I'll show you first what the gel liner actually looks like. So it comes typically in this little container, and then it's just like this little pot of liner. And then the brush that I use along with it is just a eyeliner brush. This is the Sigma E05. It is just a simple pencil brush. You can even use this for lip liner, but I have one that I mainly keep for doing eyeliner. And so it's just a really small brush. You could even just go to Hobby Lobby or Michael's or wherever and get a really small paintbrush, and honestly that's perfectly fine. It'll totally work for you. So I'm going to go ahead and just get into how I do this now that I've discussed the different types of eyeliners that you could typically use. But I'm going to go ahead and dip into my gel liner and try and get it on camera how I do it. For me, it's like up close and personal when I'm doing it, so bear with me if I do a terrible job. I have placed product onto my brush, and again, this is another example where use your table to your advantage. You want to not have to hold. It's easier to rest your elbow on something sturdy to get a precise line. So what I will typically do is I will fill in above my eye first, and then I'll do my wing. Some people I find though do find it easier to figure out what angle they want. Do that part first, and then they can figure out how thick they want their eyeliner to go along with it. Me, I typically do my liner first because I know typically how thick my liner needs to be for the winged part. So I typically just pull my skin a little bit tight, and forgive me because I've got to look in my mirror down here, and then I just kind of figure out. So if I just want to do a normal winged out liner, I will typically figure out where my last eyelash is, and again, do this before your mascara. It's much easier that way. But I find that if I find out where my last eyelash is and where it goes up, Essentially with a winged eyeliner is you want to accentuate that line because it just gives you this really, really pretty look. I personally prefer my eyes how they look with a cat liner. So you'll find what angle works for you. And again, this takes a ton of practice. Do this when you have no other makeup on. There's no pressure. If you mess up, you can just take your makeup wipe and wipe it right off and you haven't ruined anything. Sit down and practice it because it does take a lot of work. You're just going to start from the corner of your eye, and I make little short strokes. And I draw it out to where I made that dot. So it's real rough, not crisp whatsoever. It's just kind of drawn in there to give you an idea. You can always go back in with a clear Q-tip and clean it up, which I do every time. So I'm just going to draw mine in. And then once I get the point, you kind of have to flick it just a little bit at the end just to kind of give you that, thinner end. That's kind of key to a cat eye. You don't want it kind of look stumpy. You want to kind of have just like a tiny little flick. And now I'm not even going to worry about connecting it yet. I'm just going to fill in where my normal eyeliner would go. Again, however thick and however comfortable you are with it. So now I'm kind of left with like this weird little like check mark almost. You don't want it to be that dramatic, so typically what I'll do is I will kind of cut up a little bit to give us a bit more of a thicker, more elegant line. So there is what mine looks like today. Make sure it's all filled in how you like. So that's kind of the gist of it. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side here. Okay, so now that I've got them pretty close to where I need them, if you can get your eyeliner even every time, I bow down to you. Mine never end up the same, and I'm okay with that because it's something that is just, that's life. I'm going to go ahead and put my mascara on and show you guys what it looks completed. Okay, so this is the completed eyeliner look. Again, it's however thick you want to do it, however thin you want to do it. That's just the basic technique, is to kind of just make a triangle in this outer corner and then fill in the rest of the area. Again, it just comes down to practice. You're not going to be able to just sit down and flick it out and be like, oh look, I got it, because if you can do that, I'm jealous, because I think I'm late for work sometimes because I can't get my winged eyeliner how I want it, and I'm envious of anyone that can do it really well. But it's just practice. Again, it doesn't have to be exactly even because my eyes aren't even. So even. My eyes aren't necessarily exactly the same, so your eyeliner doesn't necessarily have to be exactly the same. I hope you guys at least learned a little bit from this video and maybe give it a try. Again, if you're just starting out, it might be best to start with one of the felt tip liners and maybe a thicker one and just kind of get familiar with it, get comfortable, keep trying it. first off, try it without any makeup on when you just got some downtime and just kind of learn from there. But I definitely recommend trying out the gel liner. I hadn't tried it for the longest time after it came out, and then all of a sudden I tried it and I was like, what was I waiting for? It's just so smooth, easy to work with, and it gives you a really dramatic look. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we will see you next time.